So now we have 6 cars on the lead lap. Luca Di Grassi in that car number 8 has moved past the race leader Felipe Albuquerque.
Yeah, I'm sure we haven't heard it, but I'm sure that Luca would have been told, wouldn't he, from the pits, just let the guy go, let's get the car back on.
Yeah, there was a radio call about that about a minute ago.
Yeah. So huge speeds, the COQ, and you probably heard the ACO is again making noises about how they can slow the cars down. It wasn't that long ago, 3:30 was going to be the absolute barrier for qualifying. And we've got that 3:16 last night, and they're saying, well, the problem is, Audi says this themselves, the problem is we're doing 330 on the straights, but we're doing 280 in the corners now.
I know, staggering, isn't it? It's just as well nobody goes out and looks at these cars, people involved with the team, that is. They think, crikey, the car's broken, it can't stop. And then it goes whistling around the corner and away it goes down the straight again. It's very scary, I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, they just carry such massive speed, such massive torque from all these hybrid systems. And they work, of course, they're being transferred to road cars, and these cars, particularly the Audis, they're doing these higher speeds on 30% less fuel than they were using 2 years ago.
Well, of course, the guy that was here earlier, Chris, the aerodynamicist, was he knew exactly what was going on, but unfortunately nobody else does. And it's all a bit of a scary moment when this guy's, oh, well, you do this and you do that, and the car goes 20% faster. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're back to algorithms and quantum physics, aren't we?
Yes.
Which is way beyond most of us.
Well, it's a bit beyond me, that's for sure.
Yeah, talking of being beyond you, Hugh, a couple of tweets in here, including one from my old friend Tiffany Dell. Good to hear from you, Tiff. He asks, any discussion that Duval should surely be punished for not slowing for the slow zone as the leading Porsche had? That's about an hour ago now, Tiff, so apologies for it's taken for a while. And I think Steve Mann was, and maybe ADT and his dog also asking the same sort of questions, and Jens Jensen too. So thanks for all these comments, guys. The answer to that is basically, if there was a transgression, it should have shown up on the data that is in race control. Isn't that right? Because there's a sort of a flagging system that comes up, well, a flagging system, a light system that develops. If anybody exceeds the speed zone and goes too fast, then it will show up. There will be a flag, so to speak, on the data system in race control, and then the penalty will be either, well, it'll be an investigation, and then they will assess a penalty or not.
The other thing that's a bit surprising was that we saw on the screens a P2 car overtake under a yellow. Well, we thought we did.
Yep.
And nothing happened. But I can't quite understand that either.
We saw the same at the time of Mike Duval's accident.
That's right.
We did comment on it. Rennie Rass there looking at us. We're just hearing Gary Hirsch in the Greaves Gibson flat battery. Car is absolutely dead. And they can't. That's why they can't start it. It's behind the wall. You can't go and find a magic mushroom battery like Costas lost one.
Oh, I don't know. I remember finding a battery behind the wall once.
So that's the car.
1987 it was.
That's the car that 2 years ago, of course, won LMP2 here. Tom Kimber Smith.
Things like that. Here's a philosophical thing we can chatter about. In the US, if you have a problem like that, if you get the car back to the pits, then you can fix it and rejoin the fray. You've had your penalty because you're many laps down. But at least for the team, for the fans, if nothing else, the car is back in the race, and that's something I really don't like about the rules that we have over here and in this championship. If you have a problem, you know, that's it. Sorry, guys, you're done. Well, not even sorry, guys. You're done. That's it. Go home.
Yeah, it is. It's always been.
Am I wrong?
Been a problem. No, you're not wrong. It's but it is part of what makes Le Mans. There are some archaic rules, and you know what they are, and you have to abide by them and deal with them. But I'm surprised that somebody in the pit lane didn't pick up on the telemetry that there was no charge going to the battery.
Well, that's what we're reading on the autosport.com live feeds, and of course the man, Hugh, I can't remember which car yours was, but certainly in the Group C days, Costas Loss, the world's most famous Greek racing driver, had the Cosmic March, which was the former Creepy Crawley car, which had such success at Daytona, and he was down at Mulsanne corner battery was completely dead, and he went for a little walk in the grass. Oh, there's a battery in the grass.
Well,
changed it, got back into the race, and finished.
It happens. I can't understand it. We had one was at the Porsche curves, and the driver found the battery. I can't.
Quite incredible.
It's quite extraordinary how these things happen.
They get littered around here. People just, people throw things away.
It's very odd, but
penalised for littering.
One of the biggest problems is it's the French marshals who allow this sort of thing and look sideways.
This, Hugh, is how the other half live.
I know.
Not like Group C days. This is Audi. This is Audi hospitality. Great job they do. And
oh yes, I can
look at that.
Yeah, it's quite.
Isn't that good? And
isn't that funny?
Wolfgang Ulrich saying, "Oh, there's my girls. Wonderful, wonderful. I can't wait to get up there." But it's all part of the package, isn't it? Nowadays, Group C days. You had a bacon sandwich in the back of the garage and got back on with the job. Now, if you haven't got a £1 million hospitality wagon at
17 seconds to Porsche number 17. They have changed to Weber.
As if Benoit needs telling that. I mean, he knows where he's... But this is all part of the package now. We're still the sports car family. It's just that the hospitality and the entertainment, it gets more and more expensive every year.
It does. I mean, it does make it very, very difficult for privateers. And of course, I'm glad we're not talking at the moment about the new LMP2 regs. But
well, do you want to get onto that?
No, I get very
a lot of long faces and
grumpy. I just don't understand it. I cannot.
Yeah.
Why is it that any organisation doing anything, if anything's really working, they think what we're going to do is make it more difficult.
Well,
more money, more cost, and they pretend it's. Or they say it's to try and save money.
But Jeremy,
for whom?
But Jeremy, you live in the country that has perhaps the best axiom of all. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, we've got certainly been my philosophy. Yeah, and P2 right now we've got. Unfortunately, this battle in this race, it's ongoing. It's ongoing. But unfortunately, it was kind of split up by those safety car interludes. It put big gaps between several portions of the field. But still, it is a great formula. The cars are really, really close. They're well driven. I like the Pro-Am element in that category. Yeah. And the costs are pretty sensible for the sort of races that we're competing at. So it's really, really good.
I mean, here's a perfect example. Leading P2, Nick Lapierre at the moment in the KCMG. He's got Matt House and Richard Bradley with him. What a great combination of drivers, those. Gold driver with silver and a bronze. And
the fact is, LMP2 is very good. Statement. It's a very, very good category. And why they've decided to change it, heaven alone knows.
One engine with a lot more power, 600 instead of 450.
I don't mind the 600 horsepower.
Only 4 chassis.
4 chassis and one.
Yeah.
We don't know what the engine's going to be either yet.
We won't get you started, Hugh.
Oh, good.
Thank you very much for being with us here this evening. And come back to us tomorrow and see how things are developed. Hugh Chamberlain, many thanks. We're going to take a short break in a moment. I thought they said we're going to take a short break. They did.
You're way ahead of the game, Mark Cole. So thanks for Hugh Chamberlain. And we will be, as Mark says, we will take a quick break and be back momentarily. back to Eurosport. Jeremy Shaw with Mark Cole and Damien Faulkner. We can see the Audi Sport team waiting for another pit stop here for apparently, yes, here's Luca Di Grassi onto pit lane. He's got that car back into, well, fighting hard to keep it in contention, but it's time for service for Luca Di Grassi, the Brazilian. In the meantime, Felipe Albuquerque is turning some very, very quick laps to the front, 3 minutes 19s, 3 minutes 20s, and this man, Mark Webber, in that car number 17 that led for such a long time, he's not able to quite match that pace. Last time around a 3:22, this time a 3:24. He's made a couple of mistakes in the last couple of laps, and we heard, while I think we were away on break, the race engineer for Felipe Albuquerque telling him that Mark Webber was at the wheel of the car. No, that's ridiculously irrelevant, perhaps, but to sort of manage the gap, get on with it and pull away. Well, that's exactly what he's doing.
Guys, great to be back. I was enjoying some of that hospitality you were seeing shots of. Well, not that one, the one from Toyota. So thank you for that. So, yeah, just on board here with Mark Webber going through Tet Rouge in the number 17, 919 hybrid.
Yeah, and at the moment, the gap from Mark Webber in second place to Benoit Trullier in third place in number 7 Audi is 14 seconds, and that's come down from 19 seconds just 2 laps ago. So that's a big change in that gap here on board with Mark Webber going through the first chicane.
Webber nearly 4.5 seconds slower on that last lap.
Indeed.
Yeah, that was I just missed it actually. I was just coming into the booth, but that was certainly one of the mistakes, and one of the, I think he ran wide, Jeremy, somewhere. I don't know whether it was traffic related or whatever, but we're getting into the sort of time of day now where the sun is gone. It's a little bit overcast, and pretty soon it's going to start, the light is going to start fading. It's a difficult time.
Yeah, but Mark knows the track well. He was here last year and he's done everything. That,
of course, I'm not making excuses for him.
That car's been fastest throughout virtually everything, you know, either his car or the other car.
But you can see the view there. Now, okay, it's a little bit probably obscured because it's a camera and not the naked eye, but it will start to get a little bit dark, and it's a difficult period. It's probably easier in full dark than it'll be from here until full dark.
So we just saw a pit stop for Luca Di Grassi in that car number 8, which we kind of saw it, and he is now he's stayed on the same set of tyres, so he's quadruple stinting once again. The Audi able to do that, Porsche's apparently not. The most they've done is triple stinting on the Porsche.
Yeah, I think that was, I think from the information that we were sort of getting from around the paddock, that's what we were led to believe. Just a nice shot of the little simulator there at Nissan that myself and Martin Haven had a go on the other day, and I couldn't see the screen, and I was stuck in first gear. I thought it was semi-automatic. I thought it was fully automatic, actually.
Did you mention the Tunnel of Love, which Martin shot down?
No, it's all sorts of fun up there at Nissan. They had a lovely slide, and it was timed by Tag Heuer as well. So we were jumping up and down, and I must say we were looked after very well. Great atmosphere up there, and yeah, they've added something different to the paddock, I'd say.
Nissan have been here making fun, haven't they? Car number 4 reported to be smoking from the rear. Car number 4 is that Collis car again, which
I thought that was smoking terminally a while ago, actually, so I'm surprised it even got back out there.
Diego Montero put it in the garage, walked away from it, but it's back out now, and in the hands of, we can't quite see, it's fallen off our screen now. We mentioned the 22 Nissan, Alex Buncombe on board, and as the most experienced of all the Nissan drivers, quite rightly, fastest time by Nissan during the race so far. He popped in a one...
Pit stop now for our race leader. Felipe Albuquerque brings the number 9 car onto pit lane. 89 laps completed. That's again a 13 lap stint there for Felipe Albuquerque. I expect him to again quadruple stint these tyres, and so stay out there for this for one more fuel stint, and this pit stop completely on schedule.
Wow, that was, I think that was Tête Rouge, wasn't it?
Yeah, Stefan Sarrazin.
That was very close. That's as close as you would like to be there. It was all 3 different cars, 3 different speeds. You've got closing speeds, you've got a corner coming up. That's as close as you wanted to be there. That was very lucky for the...
Remember to drink.
Just to remind you.
Yeah, we just spoke about that earlier, Mark, with the drinking. These guys are weighed. Well, lack of a drinking problem. Yeah, another drinking problem.
No, explain it again, though, Dave.
Well, yeah, for those of you who weren't tuned in earlier, I mean, basically these guys are weighed. All of these drivers are weighed periodically during the race.
Can be called in.
Yeah, absolutely, and sporadically, I should say. And if they've already been weighed at the beginning of the event, and if they're under that weight, then the FIA or ACO will issue some sort of a penalty. The penalty, I don't know what it is, but Mike Convey was just explaining this. So what they do to combat that, because obviously, why would they be lighter? They'd be lighter because they'd be obviously, drained of liquids. They might be dehydrated because of, it's so physical, it's so hot in these cars. And so they have a drinks bottle, and that is the only way that they can replenish, through drinking that liquid. As that number 2 runs really wide on the exit of the second chicane there. So they have to make sure they drink that full bottle of liquid so that they're absolutely safe on the weight limit.
Be advised of gravel on the curve at the exit of sector 25. Gravel on the curve at sector 25.
That's Indianapolis. Yeah, and just to so people understand, the average weight of a driver must be 80 kilos with his helmet and his overalls and any hands or safety devices. If it's less, they have to add ballast to the car.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's the safest way to combat that, is to drink that bottle of fluid. But if they're doing say for example, a triple stint or a quadruple stint as a driver, the last thing they want to do is drink that drink when it's really cold during the first stint. So they want to leave it, otherwise they'll have to go to the toilet. So they want to leave it for a while, but the longer they leave it, the warmer it is. So they'll get to a point where if they haven't drank it, they'll get a reminder like Stefan Sarrazin just got just now to make sure you drink it.
So we'll skip over what a driver does during a 3-hour stint, won't we?
Or a driver in the booth.
Yeah, but I mean, the drivers, and that weight loss here, it's a problem because these cars are so physical in terms of both mental and physical exercise that they burn a lot of calories and they need to fill up again. We're going to take one more break and be back very, very soon. Or not. We were going to, but it looked like something interesting happened there on the screen, so we're going to stay with you momentarily. But on board here with the Aston Martin Art car. This is in the 3rd position, and that car ahead of us is the Corvette. On the right-hand side, at least, is the Corvette, as we see the Mark Webber going through. Mark Webber back in the lead of this race as a result of that pit stop for the kind of a 9 of Philippe Albuquerque just a little while ago. And this battle here is for second place in GTE Pro. Jordan Taylor is now at the wheel of the Corvette, car number 64, and Darren Turner at the wheel of the car on which we ride right now, lapping one of the GTE AM cars. There's Jordan Taylor. He's taken over from Tommy Milner at the last stop.
And on that point, another fastest lap coming up. Nick Heidfeld in the Rebellion just put in the number 12 car's fastest lap, 8th in the race, ahead of one of the Toyotas.
like you've missed nothing here on Eurosport, except for now a pit stop for the 4th place car. This is Earl Bamber bringing this car into the pit lane for its 7th pit stop on schedule. And away goes Earl Bamber. That was another good stint by the young New Zealander. Did he hand over that car? He'd been at the wheel. He's been at that wheel now for 53 for 2 hours and a half, a little bit more than that. And he got on board the car at lap 51. He's now completed 91 laps. So it's a 13-lap stint there by Earl Bamber. And he resumes, having handed over the car to Nico Hulkenberg. So back into the original rotation now on that car. We've completed a rotation. Nico Hulkenberg drove 3 stints. Nick Tandy just did the 1 for some reason. And then Earl Bamber has driven for 3 stints now. And Nico Hulkenberg back at the wheel of car number 19.
I think that was a radio call there from the Corvette team to Jordan Taylor. If I'm not mistaken, telling him that it was that he's 22 seconds, I think it's 23 seconds that he is behind the leader. So obviously they're on a chase.
Yeah, I think the Corvette most likely changed tyres on its last stop. Because it was a longer stop than the other cars run. 2 Aston Martins. Number 99 car leads in GTE Pro with Fernando Reis back at the wheel of that car. So he is now he's doing a triple stint in the number 99 Aston Martin. Jordan Taylor then taken over the wheel of the number 64 Corvette from Tommy Milner. And in 3rd place now is Darren Turner, who is doing a triple stint of his own in car number 97. That's the art car from Aston Martin.
We've got that slow zone now. I think it's at Indianapolis. I think that was just before as we went to
break.
We're
on the break.
It was Chris Cumming in the number 34 Ligier.
The guy you raced against, of course, he's from Vancouver.
Yeah, and indeed raced with. Very capable driver, Canadian, lovely guy. He's just lost it, I think, going in. Probably lost the rear under braking or something. It's just backed it into the gravel. So it looks fairly harmless, apart from only the toe out.
Martin Haven reminded us one of the few places you go off backwards is at Indianapolis.
Yeah, exactly.
Gravel.
Yeah,
they've got to pull. They got in clear now, so the track's clear. But almost immediately, there is Gary Hirsch's car. That's the car without a battery. That's what we're told by his team, that the flat battery, Damien, that seems very unusual this day and age, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's probably not actually. We've had that in the United States, in the team GB Autosport that I drive for now and again. We've had some problems with the battery, but I think we went back to the factory spec. We put in a sort of a trick lithium battery, but we went back to the original. I think that sort of sorted out our problems. I think we were trying to be a little bit too clever, perhaps.
One you have to top up distilled water every time you stop.
not exactly that, but we were running different systems, and a cool.
He's got the car back to the pits. That is Chris's car. And,
exactly. They just give it a service, check it over.
That cost of 2 places dropped from 7th, and it's now 9th, and of course now in the pit stationary. But they're going to dolly it in, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're going. Once it goes into the gravel, especially backwards, it's going to load some gravel into the back diffuser, and they want to get that out because they don't want any of the gravels obviously getting making its way into the brakes, and just as important, making its way into the engine to do any damage there. So they'll just sort of get some air lines, blow that out, give it a good visual check over, and he'll be on his way in a couple of minutes.
Safety first there for that team.
But the sad thing about this is, okay, Chris isn't that well known to everyone here, but he is sharing that car with Le Mans Virgin's Kevin Estre and Laurens Vanthoor, and they were hoping for great things this weekend as they dominate GT3 racing around Europe. So hoping to have a really good run at Le Mans.
Yeah, Kevin Estre is also racing in the US this year, a very competitive in the Pirelli World Challenge, and winning races there for McLaren as well. So that car was up as high as 3rd place at one stage earlier in the afternoon. Now back towards the back end of the top 10, but still very much in contention. It is now the number 47 car, the KCMG car. Matt Howson at the wheel of that car at the moment, taken over from Nicolas Lapierre. He leads pretty comfortably from Pierre Thirier in the number 46 Thirier by TDS entry. And in 3rd place, doing a fine job there, is Mark Patterson for Murphy Prototypes. He's about a minute and a half behind Pierre Thirier, and it's a similar margin or more between the first 2 cars in that class. In 4th place is the Signatech Alpine. He's about 2 minutes behind, no, he's about 25 seconds of Vincent Capellier, about 25 seconds behind Mark Patterson, and then behind those two, having just made a pit stop, the number 26 G Drive Ligier of Sam Bird.
Of course, we just haven't seen the number 34 be wheeled into the garage to get that work done. I mean, there's 18 hours of this race to go, so they're by no means out of it. Anything can happen. Obviously, it's not ideal for them to be in that situation, but they've only got 18 hours to sort it out.
We just saw Fernando Rees is somewhat ahead, 23 seconds ahead of Jordan Taylor at the moment. Jordan had a huge surprise at the driver parade yesterday in the city centre when a French fan brought him up, would you believe, a cuddly version of his own dog, Fonzie, who he couldn't bring over. And apparently he was so touched.
Yeah, he's a bit of a fan favourite, a real character. And for those of you who know that, or who follow him on Twitter, you know, he takes selfies on planes when the guy next to him's sleeping, and people that he doesn't even know, you know, so real character.
Neil Cole is ready on the 24 minutes programme, so we're going to switch channels, so whichever one you're on at the moment, go to the other one for 24 minutes.
We're going to be going to Eurosport 2 in just a couple of minutes, and we'll continue our live coverage there.
Or if you prefer Neil, Liz and Adele to us, then...
Well, they're going to give us the magazine programme for half an hour, then we'll be back on Eurosport 1 after that.
So don't forget to switch over.
Here is the leading car now in GTE AM. It's number 98 car. Matthias Lauda has been driving that car. That is leading the car. With some great battles going on there between number 98 Aston Martin, the number 72 Ferrari, and the number 83 Ferrari also in the picture there. Ben Keating in the Viper in 4th place in that category. Just going to make a note about the lead of the race is still held by Mark Webber, but Benoit Trullier is closing in. The gap now is down to 3 seconds last time, actually less than that as they're halfway around the 94th lap. So Ben Trullier is closing very, very rapidly, and Felipe Albuquerque, he's only about 7 seconds farther behind as well. So we've got a battle for the lead developing here. We're going to continue our coverage on Eurosport 2, and we'll be back on Eurosport 1 shortly. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I'm just looking. We've got 5 cars still on the lead lap. I'm just wondering if De Grasse is going to pop up in once his lap. Is it going to be 5 or 6 cars on the lead lap? I
think 6. Yeah, to be honest. But just getting back to the battle at the front there, you saw that the pretty equal second sector, but Benoit Trullier was 1.3 seconds quicker in the first sector. It's only a 30-second sector, so I think that was traffic related.
And tellingly, he was a 10th quicker in the second sector too, which is where the Porsche generally has that advantage. So yeah, Ben Trullier is closing inexorably, and by the end of this lap, I fancy here is the battle for the lead now. We're on board here with the leading car of Mark Webber. Coming up, I think, isn't he, towards the Porsche curves?
Porsche curves, and you can see there's a GT car coming up there, so he's got to... He'll be thinking on where he's going to pass this.
And he's going to also have to make sure Trullier is not going to jump him as well, because they must be filling his mirrors now.
So he'll go around the outside now of this right-hander. There you go, gone. It's already past him.
The speed differential is incredible, isn't it?
It's crazy. I mean, a GT car is doing something
like... They're doing 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, a minimum of 120. And I think these guys are probably a minimum of 145, 150.
Yeah. There they are together.
Very close now, going through the Ford chicane, right with them, nose to tail.
Audi 7 behind you for position. Audi 7 behind you for position.
So we're 6 hours now into this race, and this is a battle for the lead.
Well, it was. It was. So Trullier just carrying so much more speed there. And as we know, the Audis are much faster in the first sector. Porsches have it in the middle sector, and then the Audis in the third sector again. But Benoit's made sure that he's gone past as they go into the critical part, which is where dive onto the Mulsanne chute, trying to get up to maximum speed before that first chicane. 331 kilometers an hour in qualifying.
Yeah, as if when we heard that radio message, as if Mark wasn't aware of his presence, but the team just giving him a shout anyway, in the hope that he would be able to fend him off, but no such thing. Passed him.
In fact, that lap, he was 3 seconds quicker than Mark Webber was, and it's what Jeremy said earlier. Mark is really off the pace at the moment. We don't know why.
It could be an imbalance in the car, based, you know, just that's related to you know, the track temperature at this present time. Maybe it's just this set of tires. Maybe there's an imbalance in those. It could be any one.
You know, it's getting cooler now. It's 9 o'clock in the evening. We've got some cloud cover now, so it's certainly cooler than it was earlier in the day.
Of course, the track temperature will have dropped a little bit as well, so the track will have changed. And all of those things can contribute to the balance of the car.
Yeah. But in fact, Romain Dumas is running almost identical times to Mark. Nico Hülkenberg very, very slightly quicker, but
So once again, we're going to be going over on Eurosport 1 to the Le Mans 24 minutes momentarily, and we are going to continue our coverage on Eurosport 2. So please, if you want to stay with the coverage of the race, switch over to Eurosport 2. Otherwise, we'll be back on Eurosport 1 in 30 minutes. If you're joining us on Eurosport 2, welcome to our coverage of the 83rd Grand Prix of Endurance at the Le Mans 24-hour race. And we've got a battle for the lead. Well, we had a battle for the lead briefly. Benoît Trullier now has taken over the lead in the number 7 Audi. Mark Webber relegated to second place in the number 17 Porsche. And Felipe Albuquerque, he's about 10 seconds behind in third place in the number 9 Audi. Romain Dumas and Nico Hülkenberg in the numbers 18 and 19 Porsches also still on the lead lap, and then a gap back to Luca Di Grassi in car number 8 for Audi. In P2, it's KCMG that leads. Matt Howson at the wheel of the car number 47 right now. Got a handy lead over Pierre Terrier of the better part of a lap, I think, between those two cars. In third place is number 36 Signatech Alpine of Vincent Capilliere. Mark Patterson has just brought the Murphy Prototypes entry, car number 48, onto pit lane. I think that's scheduled service. In GTE Pro, Fernando Reis leads in the number 99 Aston Martin. Jordan Taylor in second place for Corvette, about 20 seconds farther back. And he's pulled away a little bit from Darren Turner over the last few laps. Darren Turner in number 97 Aston Martin, third place in GTE Pro. In GTE Am, it's Pedro Lamy for Aston Martin Racing, car number 98, that leads by about a half a minute over Alex Bazov in car number 72, the SMP Racing Ferrari. Third place, the AF Corsa Ferrari of Rui Aguas, car number 83. Mark Cole.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Jeremy, I've got with me Nicolas Goubert, who's technical director of Michelin's racing group, and obviously a man of much talent. You've got a cap here, which is the WRC, the World Rally Championship. You're here at Le Mans this weekend, though, and one thing that's been fascinating us is the tyre wars, not between you and another manufacturer, but between all the teams using your tyres.
Yes, it's really a great race, and we've having a great fight between the Audi and the Porsche, and I can tell you that regarding the tires, it's a lot of strain on the tires. If you look at the lap times compared to last year, the cars are about 3 seconds faster, and that's a lot more downforce on the tires. So it was a hard job for us to come up with the range we have now.
Yeah, but something we haven't seen this year that we have seen before is a lot of punches, crevassons, and it's been much better this year, perhaps.
Yeah, but honestly speaking, maybe we've been a bit lucky so far. So because we know here, it depends on the number of crashes you have on the course. It depends, if you get a lot of carbon elements and so on. And it's a place where you get a lot of punctures. The good point is that today's all the cars are equipped, with a pressure sensor, and that when a puncture happens, then the driver knows straight away, and then he's got time usually to come back to the pit to avoid, any big crash.
So if you on the screen while we were chattering there, we saw that there is now a change of leadership once again, because having taken the lead, the number 7 car of Benoît Trullier brought that car onto pit lane. He has now handed over the car to Marcel Festler. So the number 7 car will resume in third place. Mark Webber then resumes in the lead, and now he's got to worry about the number 9 Felipe Albuquerque Audi, which is about 11 seconds farther back. And last time around for Mark Webber, 3 minutes 20.8. Best lap mark's done for quite a while, and now he can concentrate on trying to maintain that gap over the Audi mark.
Yeah. That's very impressive, isn't it? And what's also impressive, Nicolas Goubert, is the fact that Audi has been able to run 4 stints on the tyres tonight. Trying to 3 stints from some, 4 stints.
Yeah, so far, I mean, you know, the Porsche hasn't been able to do that just because of the wear of the tyres. And the Audi, obviously, I mean, seems to be a little bit softer on the tyres. Saying that, you know, the track will continue to evolve. I mean, the more the time goes, the more rubber there is on the surface, and Porsche are likely to be able to do 4 stints later in the race. So we'll see.
They told the different manufacturers are using the same Michelin tires, though.
Yes, specifically for the tire they are on now. You know, the one they use for the daytime, they use the same Audi and Porsche, but for the nighttime they have picked up the different options, and that shouldn't make too much of a difference for them, but obviously, you know, depending on the chassis, depending on the tire temperature, they have to go for a different option.
Now, another big change for you this year.
But as we're talking there is Mark Webber just making a fuel-only stop in what was the race leader. Now be Felipe Albuquerque who takes over the lead of this race. So 3 consecutive laps, 3 different leaders.
Yeah, rocking and rolling, as they say. But one big thing for you this year is there's a restriction on the number of tyres, of course. 12 sets for the LMP1s, 16 for LMP2 and GT. How do you manage that?
You know, actually, we're quite happy about that regulation, and so the FIA put that in place only this year, as you pointed out, just because now, and you might have noticed, there is an automatic way of counting the tires. You know, we've been asking the organizer to come up with a regulation to limit the number of tires, because it's a way as well to push our technology and to offer longer life tires. That's something we really like to do. Now, with the technology of counting automatically the tires, then it became possible. And actually, we worked hard with with our internal R&D people to help the FIA to develop that dynamic reading of the kind of tires every car is equipped with. So every time a car goes out the pit lane, then you've got the little device next to the Michelin towers, reading the 4 tires fitted on the cars.
Okay.
Like that, the organizer knows straight away, you know, how many tires they have used at any time.
So there is a chip in the tire?
There is a chip, exactly. There's a chip in each tire, and then a reader, an automatic reader, and which can read each of the tires if the car goes, you know, up to 80 kilometers an hour.
Now, about your staff, your personnel, you embed your engineers with each team.
Yes.
So
exactly.
are those engineers rivals against each other, because one is with Audi, another with Porsche, another with Toyota?
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of funny to manage, because you want the engineers to be part of the team, so to help them as much as possible, but before being part of the team, they are Michelin people, so they have to take care of both. And one says, of course, we have to use all the information we have from all the teams to make the best work possible for Michelin's sake as well.
Can you see a time when there will be a tyre war in LMP1, like is possibly going to happen in Formula One?
We would like to, you know, because we've always favoured having competition on the ground. And what is good here on the WEC is that it's an open series. So right now there is no real competition in LMP1, but maybe tomorrow there will be, and we'll be happy with that.
Nicolas Goubert, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and may the best Michelin car win.
Thank you.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Le Mans 24-hour race. We still now have Felipe Albuquerque in the lead. My name is Jeremy Shaw, alongside Mark Cole and Damien Faulkner. And we're watching there a glimpse of the number 47 car. That's the KCMG Orica Nissan, leading in the P2 category and trying now that the car ahead of him, number 36, that's the Signatec Alpine of Vincent Capilliere, is driving the car at the moment, and it is about to go a lap down. Pierre Thirier in the number 46 car, Thirier by TDS, also an Orica Nissan, that is running in the second place, about 1 minute and 40 seconds behind Matt Howson at the wheel of car number 47. What a job Matt Howson is doing at the wheel of that car. In fact, the whole team is doing, of course. I mean, they've got Nicola Lapierre, who's a seasoned professional at the wheel of that car. Richard Bradley, who was absolutely stunning in qualifying as well. But for a silver-rated driver, Matt Howson doing a fine job at the wheel of car number 47.
Yeah, Nick Lapierre, of course, with Toyota for a couple of years as they developed that program, but after a couple of, shall we say, unfortunate incidents, including one at Austin, Texas last year, was dropped by the team for the rest of the season and has not rejoined them. But finding his LMP2 feet once again, something he came out of in the first place, as you said, doing a great job. And they've led that race, not only from the start of the race, but right throughout qualifying as well, Damien. That has been the class of the field, the KCMG.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, a long way to go. 17.5 hours, 17 hours 42 minutes to be precise, so anything can happen. I mean, you can have all the reliability and all the performance, but we've seen so far in the first few hours how this place can bite you, and it can be quite nasty, can't it?
These two P2 cars here, absolutely no tutorial. Capilliere in car number 36, and here comes Matt Howson, and looks to the outside, coming down the Mulsanne straight away. And he will have the inside line, the preferred line for the second of the chicanes on the Mulsanne straight. So now we have just 2 cars on the lead lap in P2.
Can you tell us what we're seeing here, Damien? Blue flashing, that's obviously the blue flags.
Yeah, blue flags. Well, that's not for position, obviously, is it?
No, but just give us a briefing of what the driver's got at his command here in the cockpit.
Well, obviously you can see the dash, you can see the cut-off steering wheel. Cut-off steering wheel is because it's to give the driver a better view of the what looks like a pie dash that he had there, but you can see it's a digital dash. It's got lots of information, tell him which gear he's in, how many revs, it'll give him warnings, everything like that.
Yeah, we talked about his little like TomTom devices. I've never realised they were so big and in your face. I mean, you can't miss it, can you?
And they're quite close as well, you know. And then of course they're illuminated at night time, so you know, they'll switch that on.
So the race director can talk to every car through that, can't he? As well as to the team by radio.
Yeah, that's another little device, I think, that's been added where if a particular driver runs wide or puts 4 wheels over off the circuit rather, and he needs a warning, the race director can communicate directly to that specific driver.
So Nissan in the pits at the moment. This is the Matsuda one.
Yeah, Tsuge Matsuda.
Another Le Mans rookie.
So, yes, indeed, Le Mans rookie, but a very, very experienced driver. Twice a winner of the Formula Nippon Open Wheel Championship in Japan, and also a winner last year in the Super GT Championship. So massive amount of experience as Matsuda, 35 years of age.
Sorry, Jeremy, I just got a glimpse of the close-up of the steering wheel there. It looks like the rubber pad that you would put around your tennis racket for grip. That's honestly what it looked like, and not surprising if it would be like that. You've got all this high-tech stuff, and then you get your tennis tape out and wrap it around your steering wheel for grip.
I'm surprised Ben Bowlby didn't go for levers rather than the steering wheel. You know, it's
well, they have to be closed, don't they?
Not the prototypes. Yeah, the GTs.
Mark, stay in the car. We'll do the driver change in the garage.
Thought you were talking to me for a moment there, Damien. Mark, stay in the car. Wasn't even in it. So Mark Webber, but he's just been in, hasn't he, Mark Webber?
Yeah.
Who were they?
Laps to go.
Yeah.
And here, this is Mark Patterson we're watching here. This is now the 4th place car in P2.
Actually, just gone through the Porsche curves where he had a big crash on. Was it Wednesday night?
Wednesday night, yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
Wednesday afternoon, was it? Wednesday afternoon, wasn't it?
Yep, all night.
In the first practice session?
Yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
Greg Murphy told us they get the car up by 11:30.
Oh, no, was it the first qualifying session?
No, it's first practice on Wednesday. And Greg said they get the car up by 11:30 in the evening. They missed it. It was 11:35.
Yeah.
That's right,
yeah. There was quite a lot of damage on that car. It was nothing terribly...
No, but they have to. I mean, it kind of hit sort of side on, so they'd have to replace like drive shaft bearings and all of that there sort of stuff is really, really critical. You know, even on the other side, the side that wasn't hit, they'll have to replace bearings and hub bearings and all sorts of parts. And they did an awful lot of carbon fiber bodywork damage.
So going out then is the Alphard Aston Martin. This is the car that Tobias Rehberger has coloured up. We started calling it the test car, haven't we?
To look fast, even in the pit lane.
It looks, it's moving when it's standing, as you said, Damien. That's Damien's line for this year. Thank you very much for that.
It is running in the second place now in the club. Well, it was running in second place. Now the teammate number 99 car, Alex McDowell, taking the wheel of that car. So Jordan Taylor then leads the class once again for Corvette. He owes us a pit stop fairly soon. He's been running some good laps in the number 64 Corvette. The Corvette leads then Alex McDowell in car number 99 for Aston Martin Racing in second place. And then third and fourth, Rob Bell will take over that art car. Has just taken over that art car, the number 97 Aston Martin. And then in the fourth position, Jörg Bergmeister in the Porsche car number 91.
Yeah, I was just about to mention those guys have creeped back up the leaderboard, or I should say up the leaderboard.
Yeah, running in fourth place. The sister car of Patrick Pilet went out very early on with a comprehensive failure.
Catastrophic failure, I think.
It's so good to see Rob Bell getting us a big drive this year at Le Mans. Of course, Ferraris for many years, Dunlop, Ferrari, and then now running with the McLaren program, one of their chief test drivers. And again,
okay, Marcel, you can hear me, but I cannot hear you.
Oh well.
Oh, that's yeah. This is one of these an example of just something that can go wrong, but that's probably quite critical. And that's probably the best way it could be rather than the other way around. At least they'll be able to give him information as to when to pit, what's going to happen in the pit.
How does Lena know he can hear her?
Because he could be just pressing the mic, so they might be asking him just key the button on the steering wheel, just key it 3 times or just key it a couple of times, and they'll hear that click.
Right.
Or it could be something else. It could be flash your lights as you go past.
Yeah,
you know?
100 laps completed now by our race leader, car number 9, Felipe Albuquerque. We are, 6 hours and 24 minutes into this race. So just over a quarter distance completed. As the number 64 Corvette comes onto pit lane, Jordan Taylor is the leader in GTE Pro, excuse me.
Just a note on, I had some people asking me over the weekend about the lights on the Audi. The lights on the Audi are exceptional. In fact, I think they were scaled down in the last couple of years. They were so bright, but they're actually, they're a matrix LED technology in combination with the Audi laser light, but they're absolutely phenomenal, and we'll see them. In fact, you can see them there where he's flashing just there where they're coming up to lap some of the P2 cars. So what he'll do there is he'll have a button on the steering wheel that will flash, and it could well be pre-programmed to flash 3 times or 6 times.
Radio check as you go past the pit box.
I can hear you again.
Copy. Try again on the Mulsanne straight. Try again on the Mulsanne straight.
So they're still just concerned that they've lost touch with his side of things there. And
there again, you can see the number 7 flashing his lights just to make sure that that P2 car season and stays predictable. And what I mean by predictable, for those of you who are wondering, it means just staying on one line, sticking to your line instead of panicking and changing line when the other faster car is approaching.
Which is what happened at Indianapolis earlier on today and put Duval in the barriers, quite possibly.
Well, I guess, but that was a whole mix-up.
Everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, with, I think, yellow flags, green flags, and a whole sort of a mess.
So here comes Marcel through the through Indianapolis, at which point we go back to the pits. This is Romain Dumas. No, it's not. It's the Audi. Sorry, that is Luca Di Grassi. The Audi's just Porsche's just left the pits. Romain Dumas. In comes Luca Di Grassi in the number 8 car.
Lap 100, so right on schedule for the Brazilian. He'll probably get, he's getting out now. He's done a quadruple stint. He took over the wheel of the car a little bit before 6 o'clock. It's now 9:26. So a good long stint there for Luca Di Grassi. Done a nice job at the wheel of that car. They have been running along extraordinarily well, considering the fact this car should have been badly damaged in a very high-speed crash before Indianapolis, much earlier in the race. That was just before that. That happened a little bit before 6 o'clock, just a little bit before 3 hours into the race. A major accident, but incredibly, the car escaped with basically nothing more than bodywork damage.
And cost them only a lap.
Yeah, it cost. Yeah, there were 4 minutes in the pits. It cost them just a lap, which they've been on on the verge of getting back again all the time. The car was on the lead lap before it came into the pits this time.
And that 4 minutes was actually a lot less bad than it sounds, because it was during the safety car anyway. So.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job, phenomenal turnaround on that, as I think as we predicted they would. They're well versed, and of course they would do that. They would actually do that in simulations and in 24-hour, or I think is it 30-hour runs they do in practices away from this race.
Yeah.
In preparation for this race, so they would go through all sorts of scenarios like that, and I'm sure they're pretty used to it.
So it's Oliver Jarvis now, the Englishman, taking his first stint at the wheel of the number 8 car. It's a 1 minute and 19-second pit stop. That's about the norm. A little bit more, just a little bit under. It's actually a bit longer than normal. They're normally about a minute 14, 15, so slightly longer. But number 7 car, when it made its driver change and fuel and tyres just 5 laps ago, it was also 1 minute and 18 seconds. Generally, the pit stops for fuel are 55, 58 seconds, an extra 20 to add the fuel. So that's about right for that Audi team.
I just got a glimpse of Mike Conway there in the number 2 Toyota going through the Porsche curves, trying to negotiate some traffic to GTs. Just caught them at the wrong time and just had to back off, which cost him a couple of seconds, but there's just nothing he can do. He just has to be patient. It's better to lose that time than take an unnecessary risk and to potentially get into some trouble.
Yeah, it's good to see Mike Conway. He's taken his first stint in this car as well. Last lap time, he's running in the 7th position, still just 1 lap down, so far from out of it. Well, it was a fairly lengthy stop for Mike Conway. It was a minute and 29 seconds when he took over that car from Stefan Sarazan last time around. This should be our race leader. Yes, indeed it is. Marcel Fessler, lap number 102. So once again, a 13, Felipe Albuquerque, I should say, a 13-lap stint. And I would suggest that he would be taking over this car. Yeah, you'd be relieved now by